all get the memo? It's Black Day. You guys did get it.
If everyone could take a seat so we could get going, we probably got a 1 a.m.er coming tonight. So they think I'm kidding. Okay, no such thing. Well, good evening, everybody. I'd like to call tonight's meeting to order. Today is Tuesday, February 9th, 2016. It looks like it's like 7:03 p.m. And we have a board meeting, which will be followed by a committee of the whole meeting. So I'd ask everyone to please stand for our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Ms. Sherby, would you please call the roll?
Trustee Calpagno.
Present.
Trustee Celestino.
Present.
Trustee Carey.
Present.
Trustee Rita.
Present.
Trustee Stecker.
Present.
Trustee Yorkovich.
Present.
President Kulia.
Present. We do have a quorum, and thank you, everybody, for attending this evening. It looks like we do have a presentation. Janet, is that not true?
Yes, we do. We
Okay.
have the swearing in of our new police chief, Steve Stelter.
I, Stephen Stelter, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of Illinois, and faithfully discharge the duties as Chief of Police for the Village of Westchester, to the best of your ability. So help me God. Congratulations. Thank you very much.
Historically, I was trying to count back, but he's our 10th police chief. Number 10. Since like 1925 and 1926. So, welcome, and if you wouldn't mind introducing us to your team.
Thank you, everybody. Up in the front row here, I have my lovely wife, Laura. I have my son, Jacob. I have my daughter, Rachel. And sparkle in my eye, my grandson, Peyton. Their husband, Dan. My mother-in-law, Kathy Godfrey. My father-in-law, Ray Godfrey. Those are my family members. And I want to thank all my friends, my colleagues.
You can certainly introduce all the chiefs that are here, our distinguished guests.
Second row, we got Chief Pam Church from Western Springs,
Please
husband,
stand.
Craig.
Please stand.
And then we have retired Chief Mike Howell from LaGrange Police Department. Ed Rapa, Chief from LaGrange Park. Two of my very close friends, Deputy Chief Ed Kuchek from Brookfield. Chief Jim Episcopo, who's heading to the bowling alley right after this. Over 300 last week, his second one of his career. And we got Chief Mike Ruth back there, the president of West Burton Chiefs Police Association. I'd like to thank every single one of the members from the police department for being here tonight as well. It means a lot. You don't know me, I'm the new guy coming in, but thank you.
We have
Appreciate that. And, we have Brian Cradle back there, Commander Brian from Alliance. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah.
He knows how to do it.
You know what, if we can, the chiefs and deputy chiefs, right?
Oh, yeah.
Chiefs in the game.
That's cool. That's nice.
Trump and Sanders won the New Hampshire primary.
They knew Sanders well.
They pretty much knew Trump was too. He was by like 20 points.
What's his name? Rubio.
Jeb was making a surge.
Really?
I don't understand why, but yeah.
Yeah, sorry you guys, you can blame us later when you're pouring the coffee.
Thank you all for your
Thank you.
input.
Thank you.
Of course.
All the Westchester guys, come on out.
That's this shit I don't mind. It's the other stuff that the redundancy nonsense that drives me nuts. Oh yeah, that is a big boy.
How they gonna fit all these guys? They're all about the same.
Yeah. Just make a pyramid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have to
Yeah, you
kneel.
gotta let him in.
We all thought.
Oh. Oh man.
Gotta go to the picture.
In our turn. This picture day, you guys, everybody in the game, right? Listen. And now, James, come on. Number two, step forward, state your name. Any residents want to come up? Here to go. All right.
Oh, nice. Thank you. Okay. That's nice though. I can celebrate all those guys.
Yeah, that was nice.
You ready, everyone? Okay. Our item number 5 on our agenda is public comments and questions, to give as many visitors as possible an opportunity to speak. And in the interest of adjourning the meeting by 9, good luck. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes in length unless further time is granted by the board on active or general matters. I don't know if anyone's filled out a slip, Sherby, if not. Are they for the cow?
Hello, everyone. Good evening. This is my first time here, a little bit nervous, but excited at the same time. See how this all works. So, my question is, in regards to the home rule referendum, what are some of the benefits to the citizen? What are some of the powers that will be granted onto you guys as a committee, and what powers will be removed? Oh, I'm sorry. My name is Robert Murillo.
Council.
You want to give us an overview on home rule? Okay.
With respect to the home rule referendum, if the village is a home rule community, the village by statute has powers that are vested under the Constitution. So when the village, if the village were to pass the home rule referendum, it would allow the village to have certain authorities and similar to what the authority of the state. So right now, as a municipality, the village is limited by state statute. However, they can become a home rule either by size or by this avenue, referendum, by the electors voting the village as a home rule. And that gives the village additional powers to tax, to incur debt, to regulate and license that is beyond the limitations imposed by state statute.
I can give you one example right off the top of our head. I can give you an example. Video gaming. Not that it's a good example or a bad example. We're allowed, we pass an ordinance and increase the fees, but generally it's $25 a machine. That's all we would get under the rule. If you were a home rule community, you could get $1,000 a machine as a tax, whatever you want to call it, an operational cost that would go in our coffers. There are a number of things. If you look at Dillon's rule for the state of Illinois, and that's what kind of drives home rule, in the Constitutional Convention back in like '68, they basically said these are the powers a municipality can have. If you're home rule, you could add some powers. And like council indicated, some of them are taxing authority, some of them are incurring debt. To get a good reference on it, what I would suggest is when you get home, you go type in home rule on your internet, and you'll see the pluses and minuses. There's real estate transfer taxes that are available to do. There is property taxes that could be increased. I mean, these are kind of the negative things. Positive
housing.
things is in the police department. Say, for instance, we have to follow the police and fire commission rules with promotions and things of that nature. There's a little, we could change some of the structure of the police department as far as rankings and things of that nature. You know, I don't know if you heard, I wasn't, or I'm not really a proponent, but there are a number of communities that are. Hillside is, Bellwood is, and there's things that they can do that we can't do without referendum. Now, there is a bill presently before the legislature to allow all communities to be home rule regardless of population.
It was 5,000.
So right now, if you have 25,000 people in your town, you're home rule automatically. Unless, like the village of Lombard, they must have had an issue sometime back in the day, and there was a referendum, and they took home rule authority away from that village. So, you know, it's a power that certainly there's no electorate people that are up here certainly would take lightly. The majority, and this is just the commentary, have not done anything with trying to raise property taxes over the cap. That's instant death if there's a re-election out there as well. But there are a number of things of raising money that the home rule communities can do to make it better for the people. I mean, we have a lot of infrastructure needs, et cetera, that you could use some of that authority to try to fix some of the ills, streets, roads, this, that, and the other thing, that we can't do now, and that we talk about debt and things of that nature.
Some of the other communities you mentioned have a bigger pool where they can tax and generate the revenue. Here in Westchester, we know we're limited by many things, and where to draw that extra revenue, all I hear is homeowners. That's where the money's drawn. How is that? I don't see the plus in the home rule act or whatever it is, but I'm trying to be optimistic, and that's why I'm here.
Yeah.
But other than the homeowner being the source of income, what else? I mean, what else is there to gain as a homeowner? Like you said, the limitation to the machines, I'd rather have the $50 than nothing. The tower, I guess, I don't know what the concern is with a lot of the other people, but if they're gonna pay rent, it's something that's there, it's better than nothing, I say, where it doesn't affect my taxes. So,
Well, I'm sure you're following the news and what's happening in the state, and where it's very difficult for the state to raise revenue presently without increases and things of that nature. And certainly, we have the same issues, except multiplied because we're not getting our fair share from the state because everything's on hold without the budget. So, like all the communities in the state of Illinois, I don't know of anyone that I don't know is struggling. But, you know, we cannot comment for or against the issue as public members, as private members, we certainly can. But my suggestion would be, like I did, I went on the internet and I typed in home rule and authority, and then what are the pluses and what are the minuses, and I put them down on paper. So obviously I'm going to vote like everybody else. I will, you know, vote my conscience. But I would suggest that everybody does their research and, you know, find out on their own what are the pluses and minuses that may or may not affect you.
would there be additional information in the paper? I've noticed in the past, some subjects or topics are a page long, and this, what I happen to notice was maybe 4 or 5 sentences and very general.
Well,
sentences.
we can't be specific. You understand? We cannot, we can only give out information, but yes, there will be some information in the next piece as well. But we're limited in
Can the, whatever's found on the internet
saying yes.
be paid, printed out on the paper? That should be pretty non-biased.
We'll have to check with council because I don't want to violate the rules.
Okay, I understand.
But I would suggest that whomever, you and your friends or all your people that live in town, and I thank you for coming here and at least, you know, asking the questions to us. It's very difficult without putting a slant on it, and I really don't want to put a slant on it, if you know what I'm saying. In all referendum questions, we're the neutral party. We have to give out information that is not for nor against, you know, in print form and that, and then ultimately the resident or the voter would hopefully do a little research and vote their conscience.
Thank you
Make
for
some
your-
sense? But thank you very much. Any other questions?
Good evening. My name is Matthew, middle initial A, Robato. First of all, I'd like to thank the village president, Mr. Sam D. Puglia, and also Robert Lewis, the Director of Public Works. I want to thank you, also the respective board here tonight, for taking care of our flood problem between the retention pond and Sunnyside, which has been a problem for many, many years for me and many other neighbors that I have, and specifically on that 29th block of Downing, Mayfair, Kensington, Downing, Buckingham, and Sunnyside. These were the streets that were mostly affected by this. I remember 3 major floods myself. The first one was in 1987, which I lost the basement at that time, and only the basement, thank God. 2010, that will be July 2010, I believe. I lost the basement, the first floor, everything in it, everything in the garage, and 2 cars. And the other one was 2013, as you all know. Again, I lost my basement and the entire first floor. Fortunately, I saved the cars because my son happened to be there. And I yelled out, "The cars, let's move them." And we moved them out of the way. But anyway, my question now for tonight is that due to all these floods, the apron, and I'm not talking about the one that I cook with. I'm talking about the apron of the driveway has sunk in some areas up to 5 inches. And it's very, very difficult to trafficate in and out of the driveway without really destroying the car, and that's not so much the problem. I have a lot of injuries. That kind of hurts me too, to all this bumping around. And this happens several times a day, you know, I go in and out of the house. So when the project engineer that you people hired for the project that we're doing for anti-flood zone that you guys did, he did an investigation, and he took some pictures, some measurements. I believe he took some photographs of ice just sitting where the low spots are, which is going to be very dangerous, not only for me, but for some delivery people that come around, mailmen, people that just walk in the driveway. For myself, when I shovel snow, I could forget about it, boom, I could go down very easily. So it's really not only a discomfort, but it's a safety hazard too, a safety issue. And it's not only me. I believe there are several people on the 29th block between Mayfair and Sunnyside that have the same problem. In my particular area, as Mr. Lewis knows, Mr. Lewis, I'm addressing this to you. Did you get all the information from George, the project engineer, that you have all the photographs, all the emails that he sent you, and all the information, correct? Not with you, but I mean, you do have it. So you can analyze it, the results, you know, of this problem. So I would really appreciate if something would be done about this problem. And I know that I entered a driveway in and out several times, so I kind of feel responsible that maybe I should pay a little bit of that money if it gets, you know, if we can agree on something. Mr. Lewis tells me that basically the answer is no. I talked to him earlier yesterday because they cannot rewrite another order for this project. But what if we, I mean, I'm willing to pay some money, a portion of the cost of this problem, because I feel responsible. It's also my property that I go in and out, so I don't feel bad about paying some money. Why can't we work something out and get this problem resolved? Westchester is a beautiful town, a beautiful village, and it's like owning a car. Do you get the first bump? Well, it's not so bad. Then you get another one and another one. Pretty soon you don't want to look at that car anymore. You know, we don't want to get to that point, I don't think. I think we should do something about it and try to correct this problem. This is my issue tonight.
Yeah. Well, thank you. On our agenda today, right now, we haven't completed Kensington Street yet.
Correct. Yeah.
And for discussion this evening, which has caused a lot of ire, at least on the board level here, is a potential $140,000 change order that we weren't, I guess, prepared, or certainly I wasn't prepared to have to pay. So that's gonna be part of the discussion. It wasn't a budgeted amount and is actually over. And you'll hear me comment on it a little bit later, that we promised these people on all the ancillary streets like yours, that we would increase the pipe size and get the drainage and things of that nature. None of these other things were budgeted for, and that's where Mr. Lewis came back with a no. We had a gentleman on Mayfair that had a curb going down, and there's other ones along Mayfair. I'm sure almost every street out there has a low spot or a curb that's been lowered as a result of either settling or the flood or whatever the issue is over time that it's happened. And unfortunately, there's not a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow to do these onesies at this particular time. But we will certainly look at it like we did the other one. There are times where our Public Works Department can, when available, and obviously money, have done some concrete jobs and replaced curbings and done trip hazards and things of that nature that need to get done because it needs to get done. So I can assure you that it would be looked at, but I can't guarantee anything because we still got to come up with 140, and actually it's going to be 240 at the end of the night for another project that we're in the middle of, and revenue, like you've heard, is as tight could be. So that's the short answer to your question.
I understand all you said, sir. But like I said, keep in mind that I don't mind paying a portion of this project, okay? If you can get all the people to agree to that, if they really want to get it done, then your price won't be that high anymore. You could cut it maybe 2/3, or I will even go half. I will go as far as going half and half, because I'm really aggravated with the thing, you know.
Well, I appreciate the offer, and certainly the village manager and
Yeah.
Public Works will certainly discuss as we have budgets coming up in February and March to prepare for our next
That's
year.
very
So those are the kinds of things that we need to have on the horizon.
And I know that you guys are working very hard, and I've seen results already. As a matter of my flood problem, hopefully it's solved, you know, with all the work you guys did. So thank you very much
Thank you.
for your time. Thank you.
sir.
You're quite welcome. Anyone else? Once, twice, 3 times. Okay. I don't believe we have any public hearings, do we, Janet?
No, we do not.
Consent agenda. We have item A, record of bills ending 2/4/16 in the amount not to exceed $932,944.44. I know we have approval of the minutes. Sherby, you wanted a couple of polled. Is that not correct, dear?
Yes.
Which ones again?
The minutes for January 26th, for the board meeting,
Okay.
Cal, and exec.
Okay, so the minutes that we have for approval this evening are for January 5th, 2016 exec session. Is that not correct? Okay. Item C, approval of the monthly reports from the Community Development, Police Department, Fire, and Public Works. An ordinance, item D, an ordinance amending Chapter 20 entitled One-Way Streets, Title 11 entitled Vehicles and Traffic of the Westchester Municipal Code. Item E, an ordinance amending Chapter 18.42 entitled Planned Unit Development of Title 18 entitled Zoning of the Westchester Municipal Code. And F, a resolution authorizing the submittal of an application for a roadway improvement for Balmoral Avenue through the Surface Transportation Program with a preliminary cost estimate of $1,055,032. Anyone else need anything pulled? If not, is there a motion and a second for A, B, I, C, D, E, and F?
Motion.
You know what? I'm sorry, can we pull item
Which
D?
one? D, the one-way? Absolutely.
No, I'm sorry,
Which one?
never mind, go ahead.
A, as I read.
Yeah,
Okay.
as you read, yes.
All right. So Celeste?
Second.
And Tommy? Roll call vote, Sherbs?
Trustee Calcagno,
Aye.
trustee Celestino,
Aye.
trustee Perry,
Aye.
trustee Rita,
Aye.
trustee Stecker,
Aye.
trustee Yorkovich,
Aye.
president Lee.
Aye, motion carries. We will have items B, I, or B2, 3, and 4 on our next meeting agenda, correct? Right, we go. All right, item number 8 on the active agenda. The first item is an ordinance authorizing the execution of a lawn maintenance contract with Alliance Turf Management for the sum of $36,000.
So moved.
Tommy,
Second.
Nick, any discussion? If not, roll call, please.
Trustee Celestino.
Aye.
Trustee Carey.
Aye.
Trustee Rita.
Aye.
Trustee Stecker.
Aye.
Trustee Yorkovich.
Aye.
Trustee Calcagno.
Aye.
President Julian.
Aye, motion carries. Item number B, a resolution approving and authorizing the execution of an intergovernmental agreement with the Westchester Park District and the Village of Westchester for hosting of special events. Motion by,
So moved.
Second.
who got Carl? And Angela? Roll call, please.
Trustee Carey.
Aye.
Trustee Rita.
Aye.
Trustee Stecker.
Aye.
Trustee Yorkovich.
Abstain.
Trustee Calcagno.
Aye.
Trustee Celestino.
Aye.
President Julian.
Aye, motion carries. Item number 8, under C, a resolution approving change order number 1 in the amount of $118,930 to an agreement between the Village of Westchester and HD Supply Waterworks. Motion by,
So moved. Second.
was that Tommy? Carl? Was that you?
Carl
Who made the motion, Carl?
I did.
Angela? Okay, who made the second, I'm sorry?
Celestino.
Oh, and Carl, okay. Okay, any discussion on that? Angela?
President, maybe this is for Janet. This will satisfy everything as far as the water meter project software, everything that went along with it. There's
Yes.
nothing else behind it.
Forever.
Yeah.
This is it.
I mean, that's it, just the
That's-
remainder of the meters. Okay.
Yeah, for those that are in the audience, that's an added amount of radio read boxes and software to accomplish our monthly meter readings that is in place. There was about 500 or so, 540, whatever, that weren't included in the original piece. So, just to let everyone know what we're talking about. Okay, there's a motion and a second on the floor for the amount of $118,930. Sherby, roll call, please.
Trustee Rita.
Aye.
Trustee Stecker.
Aye.
Trustee Yorkovich. Trustee Calcagno.
Aye.
Trustee Celestino.
Aye.
Trustee Carey.
Aye.
President Julian.
Aye, motion carries. Item number D, a resolution approving change order number 4 in the amount of $143,670.59 to a contract between the Village of Westchester and Berger Excavating Contractors for services related to the Mayfair Reservoir Expansion Phase 2 project. And this is Kensington Street alternate bid add-on. Is that not correct?
This is Kensington and Downing, correct? I thought
No.
part of it.
So this is for what we didn't do on Kensington. There's some ancillary costs off of Downing and Buckingham as well, of the 45. Is that all part of it? Okay.
Yeah, this is, would involve the majority of the 124 items that are now in the project. Change order 4 covers the original bid, change order 1 and 2 and 3. Change order 1 was to include connections to the storm line. Change order 2 was to include the alternates. It just increases the scope of the project, adding the side streets. Change order 3 was to increase the units in the already bid items, as is 4.
Anybody have comments before I roll the dice? Okay.
Did you make a motion to?
No.
I'm saying, motion to approve? We need a motion to discuss. How about a motion to discuss?
So moved.
Okay. Frank, second? Second. Carl, okay. Okay, not that I constantly chewing my food twice, but I am. I have a whole issue with this situation, in as much as back in October, like I've indicated before, we paid a alternate bid of $140,187, which we accepted for Kensington, and $167,349 and 30 cents for Downing, for a total change order of $307,000. And we promised everybody in the room at that time that the reason that we're gonna add the alternate bids to this project was we wanna be done and out of there and never have a potential flood situation again, albeit if God in 7 inches of rain comes in 3 hours, we're out of luck. We all kind of know that. Since that time, we've had a change order of about $87,000, and then we've had another change order that we approved, number 3, for $27,000 in change. The question or the irritation on my end is the double connections that apparently we paid for or authorized to pay for without any examination by staff or anybody, and very little conversation with the Public Works Department people that indicated to me that they have never seen a double connection from any house for a storm sewer, a gutter, and a sump pump, not one in town. And in fact, in my office right now, and I forgot to bring it out, was the map indicating that those were about 37 to 33-foot lots that each had a storm connection to it, that were made in the bigger lots. So there was some type of document in-house that somebody could have looked at to said, hey, where are these at? In fact, there are measurements on the document or on the map saying exactly how many feet from the corner each one of those stubs are at. So my ire is that somehow someone authorized double connections, not only on Buckingham, but on Downing. It cost us considerable amount of money when we actually hooked up a dead pipe. And I have a problem with that. I don't know if it's our engineer dropped the ball, in-house dropped the ball. I have issues with the NICOR situation. It cost us a month in prime weather, that we didn't have rain too much at all, that work came to a stop. We had to pay a remobilization fee, that somebody should have scheduled that NICOR before anything else, so we didn't have to close the job down and start all over again. So there is some culpability and accountability somewhere that the ball was dropped. The documents that I'm citing from were in the office and available to anybody that wanted to look at them, any engineer, any potential bidder, to see exactly what was up ahead of time. But there was definitely an omission or a neglection of that being done, and now we're asked, and we're put under the gun because we told people that we would fix this, and now we have to come up with about another $140 or whatever it is, $1,000 that I really didn't want to spend. You know, you don't mind spending the 20 for stuff that's not seen, pipes that are unable to be detected until they're unearthed. But I really feel that some ball was dropped here, and we're going to be paying a price for it. Money is tight all around. We have pension obligations and things of that nature. The budget will probably be as bleak as it was last time. And, you know, if we had our pension obligation, there's $100,000, we could have probably put $50,000 to police, $50,000 to fire, and got us up to a more respectable level that we have to get by a certain time in the future. So, and that's just one opportunity to spend that money. But, you know, we budgeted $1.1 million or whatever it was. We added $300,000 to get this off our back, and here we are. The project isn't done. We had to delay it because of weather. We had to delay it because of NICOR. We have another mobilization coming, and I have to tell you that I'm irritated as all get out that these things weren't caught ahead of time when the bidders come in, they look at it, Whether we omitted to give them the information, I guess that's our fault, but, you know, we need to do a better job of this. In prior years, we had another situation in Public Works, which the board certainly knows about change orders that I know you're doing well with because you're bringing them to us at least. But in years past, some change orders that cost us considerable amount of money were authorized without board approval. And although you're asking for approval here, I just feel that we're being taken to the cleaners here. So, I don't know how any of the other board members feel. If you'd like me to get the document out of my office, I will certainly get it that showed how all lots had connections every foot. So I just think that somebody either didn't want to take the time to look at them, it was easier to punch another hole and make a connection that's dead now. And to me, when you put extra holes in pipes, it's just another where to leak in the future or something to go wrong or for it to crack or do something that somewhere down the road, someone else is gonna get stuck with it. So, I don't know, we're between the rock and the hard place. If we vote no for this change order, then the people are gonna say, hey, we let them down. But I'm here to tell you that I'm very disappointed that we're even in this position and somebody is going to be held accountable. It's as simple as that. So if somebody gave them the go-ahead without looking, that is an issue. If the engineer did something that wasn't correct, there's some liability, we're gonna go after it. But this is totally wrong. It's $100,000. It's not like it's $10,000 for someone to go, oops. So that's how I feel. Does anyone feel differently than me on the board?
The issue I have with this, it's not only this time, but we constantly seem to dig these large holes in the middle of town and then come back to the board and say, oops, we need a few $100,000 more to fill it. And we're stuck with no choice but to fill the hole back up, to close it up. I mean, it's just a lot of money.
I think we need to find some accountability before we release the purchase order agreement. Change
Well,
order.
the problem is we gotta get the project done.
I know, but I mean,
understand.
But
Sam,
we
as soon as we okay it, it's gonna go under the rug and nobody's gonna be held accountable. So, I mean, this is a way to hold people on both ends accountable
And I
for
just
it.
heard earlier, and while I respect our residents coming to us with some issues, we have an engineer that's gonna take the time out, who probably charged us to look at that apron on that driveway.
Right.
But we couldn't get the project done right the first time, where we may have had the opportunity to be able to afford
Yeah.
to help some of these
That's a
residents to do that.
worthwhile change
Now we
order.
can't.
Right.
You know, I'm with you. Again, I hate to see this delayed. You know, God forbid we have another rainstorm,
But
and
it's
that's the only block that's
it's-
SOL, and it's gonna have an issue.
It's the same thing every time. We do it because we're forced into a corner.
Yeah,
And
we
then
can't
it happens
continue
again.
to move. All future planning just goes out the window when we incur all these other costs. Savings that we were supposed to be immediately having now are pushed back long after I'll be gone. Will we actually start seeing some of the savings for some of these things? But I do feel that there needs to be accountability. We need to find out where the ball was dropped. And, you know, just like we promised those residents, and I will keep that promise.
Absolutely.
But tonight, I'm gonna be voting no until I have some accountability to the rest of the taxpayers in this town. Until I could show them that there was some sort of, that somebody's being held accountable for this, I'm gonna vote no to release the funds. That's my opinion.
Again, any other commentary? I mean, I said my piece. I mean, I'm on the razor blade, so to speak,
I get it.
because I wanna get the project done.
Right.
Because I don't wanna
understand.
have a
think
problem.
Oh, no, we all understand, and it will get done. It's just, we gotta figure out who dropped the ball.
Yeah, before we release these
Right.
funds, because, so if we wanna table it, or vote, I mean, we're voting no. It's,
Is there a recommendation? What would you suggest? We just vote no or table it for another meeting? What do you think we should do? I certainly get it.
Yeah.
No, and I do, I do.
And you know, as soon as we approve it, it's gonna be forgotten.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
We're gonna approve it, and then the next project will come along.
Right, and it'll happen
And
again.
the next problem
We're
will come
gonna be
along.
digging a hole, and this time it's gonna be 200 grand instead of 140.
Well, I just don't want, I want to make sure that we can bring this topic up at a future situation, because I'm thinking there's times where you have to table it for a certain meeting or whatever, and I'm not sure what that time frame is by the time our investigation is done and the accountability factor. That, you know,
And I'm not even opposed to having a special meeting just for this, but at the end of the day, though, I need to know that there was some sort of accountability. That's just me, though.
anyone disagree with
That's
it?
And they should be held accountable for finishing the job while this is being
Yeah, this is ridiculous, with some of the stuff that we get.
Well,
sorted out.
you know what happens, you're
Right.
all smart people here.
Mhm.
that
No, I know.
When you get involved in litigation, and Celeste will tell you, we have a water agency building that Broadview, Westchester, that was in some dispute over who did what, where to whatever. We've been fighting for 2 years with mechanic liens that people have filed, and the building's done, but we're still playing around with it, which is in my craw. That's the last thing I want, is to have a 2-year episode here where we're fighting these things in court and liens and all this other stuff, which gets really difficult. It's not as easy as you think, and that's because she and I know, she's at every meeting, what we go through with this situation, with mechanics liens and
Well, it could get
not doing it
expensive
or whatever.
legally,
So
too.
it is very time-consuming and delaying. We're lucky we got the building done to the satisfaction. And now collecting damages, et cetera, is gonna be very difficult. So, did you guys come up with our operation? What would you like us to do? Vote no, or vote yes, do whatever, table it to another meeting until these questions are answered?
Well,
I need direction.
I can't, from a legal perspective, direct the board how to vote, but if the board were to take any action, they wouldn't be able to do that until after. And I'd have to make sure I thoroughly review the contract, but I don't know that if there would be a breach of contract until there was a completion of the project.
Okay, so we would probably, what I don't want to do is vote no, if that's what the board is going to be, and then have difficulty reopening that up after the investigation. So I'm thinking, I'm hearing that we're probably better off tabling this, but I think we have to put a time on that, is that not correct? Table until such time, or is there something that we have to do?
From a practical standpoint, that would be probably the better thing, so that things can move forward and there can be a deadline to make, gather the information and find out. But from a rule perspective, you can table it
Yeah, okay.
indefinitely, but
All right, well, let's do
to
this.
another meeting would be practically the best way to handle
Okay,
it,
well, is,
Can I ask a question?
if there's not a vote on it.
If we were to vote to pay them, when would they start work again?
Yeah, so we have some time.
So we have some time. So it's not like we're gonna lose this window and then they're gonna hit us with startup costs or whatever again.
Well, they're already hitting us with that startup cost,
But
so
I'm
it doesn't
saying,
mean,
this would not increase it because we could still have that March
No.
window.
no.
no.
No, but I think the issue is if we hold off and we don't give them ample amount of time to, stage their, equipment again and get going.
That's what
you
I'm
know.
asking.
So if we wait a month before we make a decision and then tell them, and they wait another month, or, whatever,
We should have an answer within a week.
Because now we're gonna get,
yeah.
Yeah,
it's gonna
I
be
mean,
in
I think
August,
that's the
and
issue,
playing
so,
around
No,
again.
I know,
do we
but-
say next meeting and try to get
That's
some
what I'm
answers?
looking
I mean,
Everybody's
I
gotta
would,
be in
I
the
would
same
expect
room
that we could
and-
get an answer in a week.
You just
Yeah.
gotta ask them who authorized the work to be done.
All right, well,
Well, I mean, I think the question is who missed it? How
Yeah, well, they
get
did the
this?
work. Who authorized them to do the work?
well, let's do this. It's motion and a second to table this. When is our next meeting?
Our next regular meeting is February 23rd.
February 23rd, so that's 2 weeks.
We have a special budget meeting
Next week.
next week.
Okay, well, let's table it till February 23rd, and then we'll kind of go from there. Hopefully, we can get some of these things answered. Is there a motion, a second to table?
Second.
Carl, second. Frank, roll call, please.
Trustee Steckler.
Aye.
Trustee Yorkovich.
Aye.
Trustee Calpagno.
Aye.
Trustee Celestino.
Aye.
Trustee Perry.
Aye.
Trustee Rita.
Aye.
And President Booya.
Aye, motion carries. Janet, any report this evening?
Just a few items. Just wanted to let everybody know that the Village Hall administrative offices and Public Works will be closed next Monday, February 15th, in observance of President's Day. As always, police and fire will be on call 24 hours a day. And then I just have one other item for other information on the count.
Great, thank you. Miss Melissa, anything for us this evening?
No report.
Nothing. Okay, board members, Frankie, EDC, anything?
I have nothing to report at this moment.
Nicholas?
In regards to the ETSB, there's going to be a meeting coming up at Superior Ambulance regarding the consolidation and the possible consolidation of the ETSB funds. So that meeting is going to be coming up, so I should have an update at the 23rd meeting. And that's pretty much it.
And just for your edification, I did receive some information from NORCOM regarding the consolidation. Although we're already in the consolidation, there's some agreements that have to get in the game. So I'll be giving those to Janet and council to take a look at, since we're already in the middle of a consolidation. We're light years ahead. I think they have a year window to get their other communities that are under 25,000 to get consolidated. Celestine?
Nothing this evening, thank you.
Carl, anything?
Nothing this evening, sir, thank you.
Angelo?
No, nothing here today.
Tomas?
Nothing.
Nothing. James?
Just a couple thank yous that we received. The Oak Park Fire Department's done a really nice, actually handwritten, something you don't see nowadays. Something you don't see nowadays, a handwritten letter, thank you letter from the Oak Park Fire Department for our participation in firefighter Kenneth Harris's funeral. He died shortly after he got off duty from cardiac issues, more than likely. But real nice note. Just really quick, we wish to extend our sincere appreciation for your thoughts and prayers during that difficult time. We took comfort knowing that firefighters from all over the nation were supporting our family. It's hard to express the thanks we would like to extend for all the help, thoughtfulness, and sympathy you provided during the challenging time. Sincerely, the members of the Oak Park Fire Department. And then also yesterday, Divine Providence, kind of out of the blue, dropped off a whole stack of thank you letters from K through 5th or 6th grade. I can't tell. I was looking through and trying to read some of the writing. It was hard to see. So we appreciate that. Although we don't look for it, it's always nice to get those thanks from the community and especially the kids as well. So that's all I got tonight.
Great. Thank you. Ms. Maureen?
Well, as everyone is probably well aware, monthly water billing has kicked off and is live in progress. We feel that we've had pretty good success so far. We've had a lot of questions, but overall everything seems to be going well. We are still encouraging everyone to enroll in the direct debit program. That would be the most efficient processing for both the resident and for the village as well. Other than that, I don't have anything else to report.
And Maureen did give me this form earlier today. Oh, sorry, it's a utility bill. I don't want to say it's the things that staff follows through on to tell people who have questions, depending on what section you are in the village. It talks about how much you're going to be charged and why you're going to be charged that, and what the second month and third month will be. Because if you went from 3 months to 1 month, you probably got a bill that's containing either 1 or 2 months ahead of time to get going. So there'll be a little bit of questioning as far as the first month will go, but then it'll pretty much line itself out. And I know staff is very well versed in this, but I have some in the back on the table, but I wanted the trustees to know that the staff had put this together and that this is what they're communicating to the residents when they call. And as far as I know, it's working very well. Is that not correct?
Yes, we're very pleased with the rollout so far.
Does anyone need a copy? Did I have enough for everybody?
But again, I cannot encourage people enough to sign sign up for direct debit, especially with vehicle sticker sales around the corner. We do anticipate long lines.
Great. Thank you. Gregory?
Yes, to continue on with what Trustee Secker had to say about the ETSB, the meeting at Superior Ambulance is going to be with Franklin Park, Melrose Park, Westchester, and Norcom. That'll be February 19th, and I was hoping that, and I don't know if Melissa had ever seen the letter that was sent to your offices. Norcom had sent a letter, and I've asked Mike to review that. At this point, it has the same stuff, I believe, that the mayor got with regards to a lot of the laws that have changed, a lot of the documents that are going to be required to be filled out. I have begun filling it out, but wanted, of course, some direction to make sure that the direction that we're taking is going to be appropriate and proper. We're going to find out a lot more on the 19th, and I'll report back to the board after that meeting to find out what direction we're going to take with regards to the fund itself. The fund itself, as everybody knows, has to be consolidated, as well as the centers with populations less than 25, such as we are. So we are currently looking at consolidating with Melrose Park and Franklin Park. At least that's the direction we've started to take. If there was ever any other considerations or thoughts, the board can always discuss that, or if any no other municipalities come to us. So those are the most obvious choices because we currently work with them in some shape or form, having Norcom as our provider of services. The 911 board will probably be meeting shortly. I'm going to meet with Janet and Maureen, or at least Maureen for sure tomorrow, to go over some numbers. I wanted to make sure that my direction with regards to some of the revenues, we're going to continue the same way and make sure our numbers were being put in the budget appropriately. So we're going to meet with them tomorrow and then put out a request for a meeting shortly thereafter, hopefully tomorrow afternoon then, if it all goes well. So we'll have a meeting and something to report hopefully back the next board meeting. Special events group will be meeting on February 22nd to put down some, throw out some ideas, see what we're doing for the summer. As I mentioned, we had some general conversations, nothing official, but we'll have some more information after that. On the debt recovery front, yesterday I uploaded another $14,000 worth of dollars into the system. The current take has been very slow. The state has not processed a lot of the funds yet. I've spoken with people down at the Illinois Department of Revenue who said that's the reason. I was figuring that by mid-February we're going to at least have some early filers, but apparently because of the state system it is going a little slow and there's some backlogging in that, so I'll definitely be reporting to Janet and Maureen on those numbers as they come in. I think that's it. Yeah, I'll go.
Great. Thank you, Gregory. Robert?
No report.
Melissa?
I just have two very quick things. One thing is, I don't know if everybody knows this, but the village's sign code has a provision for any business that has non-conforming signage. It has to be removed by May 1st of 2016. And so I'm getting ready to send out notices, probably going to go out this week, to business owners that have non-conforming signs to make them aware of that upcoming deadline.
Approximately how many are there?
It's not that many. I would say 15 or less.
Thank you.
And then just so that everybody knows, we issued 35 permits last month. We completed 94 inspections, and it was about $250,000 in construction value.
Is that all, ma'am?
Yes, that's it.
Ms. Sherby, anything? Nothing? Okay. My report will coincide with Committee of the Whole commentary. Do we need an exec today? No? All right. If we don't need an exec, is there a motion and a second to adjourn our board meeting?
So moved. Second.
Tommy and Angelo? All those in favor of adjourning our board meeting, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition, say no. We stand adjourned.